been coming to this part of the world my whole life. I didn't grow up here, but my grandmother lived here. My great-great-grandfather lived in Knock Cottage, which is just down here, and it takes its name from the hill behind this house, which is Knock Iveagh. So yeah, I've had family here for a long time, and I now live just up the road, so it's nice to be back. This has always been the place that I've gravitated around my whole life. I have a big interest in heritage and folklore. Knock Iveagh is, I suppose, you could see it in two ways. You could just see a hill, or you could see a hill that has been used by people who lived in this area for thousands of years and has been viewed in a very different way to the way we view maybe a lot of the land now. And we have evidence people farmed here a very long time ago, and that's important on a much wider context. It is the location of a Neolithic burial cairn. And before that was built, there was probably ritual activity up there before that. So these were some of the earliest farmers in Ireland, in the north of Ireland, part of the tribe called the Advocacy tribe, and they were one of the Ullud tribes. So Ullud gives its name to Ulster. So this is one of the most ancient population groups, and this was the hill that they buried their ancestors on. So that's how it got its name, Knock Iveagh, so after the tribe. The people who built that cairn and the people who considered it, an embodiment of the land which they were intimately connected with, they didn't see the land in the way that I think many people now do. They realised that it was a relationship that they had, and so they almost personified the land. And some people suggest that they, deified it. They called it the land goddess, and the land was considered to be female. And so I think viewing the world through that lens is a really different way to look around, and realise that we're a partnership. It's great to be a musician. It's creative, it's exciting, it's competitive, it's enriching, it's fantastic. It's also hard, so it's nice to have your feet on the ground when you come home. The planning system completely failed to protect Knock Iveagh in the way that it should have done. They didn't consult, and there was plenty of development up there that was never consulted on, and as a result the landscape has certainly been diminished. We hope it's not permanent. We hope that we can now preserve what's left and allow people to enjoy it in the way that they have for thousands of years. Initially there was a broadband mast went up, and that didn't have any planning permission. And then it turned out there was a wind turbine that did have planning permission, but they hadn't consulted the archaeologists, which they were supposed to do as part of the planning process. That was a statutory consultee, just got forgotten about. And that's not unusual, sadly, in Northern Ireland. That seems to happen, far more often than you would hope. It's hard to be a farmer. Farmers have a hard time. You've got to make money somehow. I think in this instance, commodifying Knock Iveagh is part of the problem, really. There's been a systemic failure. When planners looked at that application for the wind turbine, it should have been obvious there was a cairn on top of that hill. They should have done the proper consultation. We believe they should have done an environmental impact assessment because it's a scheduled monument. It's part of a wider landscape, and the turbine's over 15 metres tall, so it fits the criteria. It was never done. The conflict exists between the people and the planning system. It's not a personal thing. There's been incredible support. I think in this part of the world people are quite quiet. They don't like to rock the boat, so they sit quietly. They might not shout about it. We went up there quite regularly as a family. We were told that we weren't allowed to go up there anymore. That's odd for children. How do you say, well, they're telling us we're not allowed to go anymore? So I think they do miss it. I think I was motivated to get involved in protecting Knock Iveagh mostly by my daughter's words to me. And she said, "Mummy, you always said that if I believed in something, I should do something about it." And so when your daughter says that, you've got to do it.